Well, hopefully we can grab a quick word with Jenson after he's hugged and shaken hands with every member of his team, which pretty much sums up the kind of driver that he is. Hopefully he'll head over and join us in just a moment. He's just to our left-hand side. And it's great, actually. He was just told, go and speak to the BBC. The first thing he did was look for another guy. He was keen to speak to someone called Tom. Tom got an extra large cuddle. Let's find out why he gets that, and also a high five. And Jenson will come and speak to us. It's reminiscent of Brazil 2009 with all these cameras in here. What was so special about Tom? You were keen to give Tom a big cuddle and a high five.
Tom's my data engineer, so he's an important man. And he's big, and he's good at giving bear hugs.
Good, and you needed a bear hug, right?
I did. You weren't there to give me one, so I went to Tom instead.
Next time. I imagine you've had plenty of hugs, though, today after a drive like that. Talk us through your race from inside the cockpit, because it was to and fro, wasn't it?
It was, the first stint was pretty interesting in those wet conditions, and I went to the slicks pretty early, and it worked. And Lewis was out on slicks and pretty quick at the start of the stint. I was like, he seems to be pushing really hard. And the end of the stints, I could really look after the tyres and have good pace, and I was pulling him in about a second a lap. And every time we put tyres on, he'd pull away, I'd catch him up, and it was to and throw. And then he made his little mistake, spun off, and there was a lot of action. So it was a great race. And personally, I wish it had stayed dry, but it rained,
really?
and we still got the job done. So 100%.
Oh, well,
the pace was there.
How many times did you pass and repass each other? Have you any idea? Were you counting?
Well, he spun off, and I came past him, and I almost passed Paul Durista as I did that, and I realised I was on the yellow flag, had to hit the brakes. So Lewis could turn around, get back on my bum. And then a couple of laps I pulled away, it started raining, he caught me back up. I made a mistake at turn 2, went wide, got past me, then I got past him, then he got back past me, and it was quite fun, you could say. Two Brits in the front fighting it out.
The euphoria of Canada will live forever in my mind. Where does this one come?
It's not as big as Canada, personally, because there were such lows in Canada. So to come away with that victory was phenomenal, I think, for all of us here. But this is a good victory. But as I said, in the race, I actually didn't want it to rain because the pace was very good, and I think we made some very good calls.
And talking of making calls, if you would have been in front of Lewis when the final pit stop decisions were made and Lewis came in and he put Inters on and then it wasn't to be and Mark Webber did the same thing and ended up coming back in, would you have come in and put Inters on at that point if you had the choice, if you were the lead McLaren?
When?
Towards the end of the race.
When Lewis came in?
When the rain started again and Lewis came in.
Well, I was told to come in.
But you were behind Lewis at that point?
Initially, I was told to come in and queue up behind him.
To put Inters on?
Yeah. I didn't answer back, so I was never going to.
Oh, no. Entirely your decision to not
You heard it first here on the BBC.
I'm so surprised with that call.
So that was it, that call, your decision in the cockpit.
Well, initially I didn't say a thing, and then, to be fair to the team, the second to last corner they said, right, Lewis is definitely coming in, stay out, because they didn't want to queue us in case, they wanted to split us, I guess, in case it didn't rain. So.
When you first went out on the yellow mark, the harder tyres, did you realise straight away you were going to go to the end of the race? Or did you think it was the right decision there and then?
Initially, no, because I was surprised we pitted so early, because I know Lewis pitted the lap before, and I felt the car was working really well and the pace was good. I was really surprised they called me in so early. Obviously I came in, of course, and we put the tyres on. I was like, guys, why did you call me in so early? And they said, well, the reason why we did is to cover the cars behind, the Ferrari of Alonso. You're on primes and Lewis is gone on to options, so make him last. And I was like, wow, okay, we are in good shape.
Because you were sliding around like crazy when you out of turn 1 on those prime tyres, the harder tyres.
Yeah, I mean, to get temperature was really tricky, and that's why I didn't want it to rain. Because with a harder tyre in the wet conditions, you just can't get any heat in it. So it was pretty tough, but I mean, fair play to Lewis as well. I mean, we had such a good battle, we didn't touch. And, we want to beat each other, but it's good that we have that as well. We have a respect for each other. And I got a lot of respect for these guys as well. They've made such big improvements over the last few races. We've won 3 of the last 5 races, and we're coming strong.
And so this was race 200. Another win for you. You now go into the summer break. Where does this leave you? Where does it leave the championship battle? Where does it leave the sport?
It's going to leave me in bits later.
I bet it is, but I'm sure you'll recover in some lovely part of the world where it's a lot warmer than it is here. Yeah. But where do you think it leaves the championship battle?
For me, it's very tricky. I'm a very positive person, but it's very tricky. The last 2 races to not finish for reliability reasons, it's tough. So this weekend I just got my head down, focused on just weekend as it comes, and the job was pretty good, and we got the win. So I'm just going to work in that way every race I go to. I'm not going to look at the points. I'm so far behind, but I think if we can do what we did here with this, with the package we have, we can do very well this year. But points aren't of importance at the moment. It's race results.
Okay, I think we sadly have to let Jenson go. Otherwise, we'd love to stand here and talk to you all the time. But listen, since we've been covering this sport since 2009, brilliant drama from you, and it carries on. So well done, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And for whoever's been pinching my bottom throughout the whole of that interview is in serious trouble when all this is over. You find out which of your team's been pinching my bum that whole time.
That might have been my girlfriend, but I wouldn't say so. Oh, and maybe it was Big Rick.
I wouldn't be moaning if it was
Actually,
just... I think it may have been one of these
Big John Button, maybe.
This is Team Button behind. I got to say a big thank you to these guys. 200 Grand Prix. They've had to put up with me, so thank you very much.
Well done. Well done to Jenson, and of course, well done to Team Button.